Hello, welcome to another video, and it would normally be the time of month where I would get out the TBR pursuit board. However, let's mood read March. I enormously did not complete February's TBR pursuit. Massively. I am in a real mood reading groove, and I don't want to punish myself for being in a mood reading groove by forcing myself to play TBR Pursuit. One of my goals for this year was to be kinder to myself and listen to myself and not put pressure on myself when I don't need to, and I don't want to punish myself for wanting to read, you know, all over the place rather than from a set TBR, because in February it just didn't work for me. Reading from a set TBR did not compute. It didn't happen. So I'm not going to do it in March, and I've been chatting to my patrons about it, and it's mood read March. That's what we're doing. We're doing mood read March. I do, however, have options that I want to take you through and some books that I do need to read. So mood read March will only be mood read to a certain extent, because there are some necessary reads for me. So let's get those out of the way first. First up is The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker, which was on February's TBR. The live show for this for Cassidy's Backlist Book Club is on Saturday. What's the date on Saturday? The 5th, I want to say. I haven't read this yet. I've started it. I need to read this for the live show on Saturday. This is, you will probably already know what it's about because I've spoken about it before, but it's about a world where these two peoples are at war and a dragon is spotted, and pretty much whoever kills this dragon first will win the war because they use the bones of dragons for their ships or something along those lines. I'm not very far in. The audiobook is not my style. Not enjoying the narration of the audiobook, I will say that. So I might move towards reading this physically, but I need to read it for the live show on Saturday, so there's book number 1. And book number 2 is City of Dragons for the Elderling Along, which the live show is on Sunday for. So I have both of these that I need to read for live shows back to back. This is the third book in the Realm of the Elderlings, Rainwild Chronicles, which is part of the Realm of the Elderlings. I won't go on about this one though, because you've probably heard me talk about Realm of the Elderlings for a very long time. Third book in the Dragons series. Similarly, following on from that, I will then need to read Blood of Dragons for Elderling Along, which is actually March's book, but the live show for this one just happened to fall in the first weekend of March, so I should try and read this one in the rest of March. This is Blood of Dragons, which is the 4th and final book in the Rainwild Chronicles. There we go. I've massively spoiled myself by reading the blurb of this, so I'm not going to subject you to that. And then, of course, I also have Call of the Bone Ships, which is the March book for the Backlist Book Club, but again, because of dates where live shows are falling, this has just made it into March, and I should read this in the rest of March. This is book 2 of the Tide Child trilogy. So already, for a month where I want to mood read, I have these bad boys to all get through, and 2 of them pretty quickly. So can you kind of also understand why I wasn't wanting to do TBR Pursuit this month? Not only do I want to mood read, but also I have a whole heck of necessary reads, because this isn't even all of them. We then have the middle grade monthly book for March, which is much nicer and much easier for me because it's going to be a reread for me, but the March book for Middle Grade Monthly is Brightstorm by Vashti Hardy. We're doing a bit of a Brightstorm along in the lead up to the last book in this trilogy. I love Brightstorm. It follows twins Arthur and Maudie, whose father has passed away on a trip to South Polaris. However, they do not quite believe everything that they are told around the circumstances of his death, and they decide that they need to go on a journey to South Polaris themselves to find out what really happened. So They join the crew of the Bright Storm and go on a journey to the coldest point of the south and have a wild adventure. One of my favourite middle grades, so I'm very excited to reread it, and I'm excited for everyone else to read it with us. I'm really excited about this one. So they are all of my necessary reads, which means from this point on, a bit more mood reading would be nice. However, there is the Magical Readathon. Mini Magical Readathon hosted by G, and I have a little slip of paper here where I've gone through and like worked out everything that I need to work out, and I have my 2 prompts that I need to fulfill. I won't talk too much about what they are because it's going to be so different for everyone, so go and watch the announcement video and follow your path and work it out. But one of my prompts is to read a standalone, and one of my prompts is to read a book set in a different world. So for the standalone, the options I'm bringing myself are Cody, which is a graphic novel that Steph has highly recommended me. This is about a young girl in Alaska, I believe, who befriends a bear. It would be a super quick read, which is probably what I'm gonna need, to be honest with you. So we've got that one. Or we've got Hard Reboot, which I'm shocked that I haven't read yet. This is, what do they call it? Pacific Rim meets Thunderdome. There was a phrase that really sold me on this one. Giant freaking robots. Oh, here we go. Fantastically fun, cage-fighting, Pacific Rim, lesbian romance novel I didn't know I desperately needed in my life. There we go. Cage-fighting, lesbian romance, Pacific Rim, giant mechs. Yeah. And it's a novella, teeny tiny. I'm excited to read this and have been since I got it. So yeah, another little one that stands in as an option for my standalone. So I'll probably head towards one of those 2, but it's Mood Read March. So if there's any other standalone that catches my attention, I'll read that, which is fine. And then the other prompt for me is set in another world. As a fantasy reader, this is pretty open for me because I read a lot of books set in other worlds, so I'm not going to pick anything for this. I'm very much going to leave it to see how I feel at the time. I'm going to mood read that one. Another couple of books that I would really like to get to in March, one of them is The Righteous by David Ragg. I recently read The Black Hawks and absolutely loved it. There will be a 24-hour reading vlog coming at some point where I read this one. I fell in love, and I immediately picked up The Righteous, which is the sequel. It is just a duology, which makes me very happy, so this is the final book, which brings me to something else we'll touch on in a second. I've started it. I am 63 pages in, loving it already, very much want to continue. This was a total mood read pick, so we're flowing with the mood read. I will continue this. I'm very excited about it. The Black Hawks is about a knight called Shell who is tied into service to his step-uncle, however he really does not want to be. It just so happens that an opportunity presents itself where he can get out of his service to his uncle if he delivers the prince from one side of the kingdom to the other whilst a war is breaking out and they're being invaded. But he really doesn't like to, and he thinks the prince is a little bit of a whiny brat, but there are killers and assassins after them, and when you've got killers and assassins after you, you need killers and assassins on your team. Introducing the Black Hawks. The language in here is vulgar. It is full of effing and blinding every third word. I absolutely love the tone, the sarcasm, the humour is completely up my street, and I fell in love. So, yeah. The Righteous is one I want to get back into immediately, really. Another one that I'm really wanting to get my mitts into is Darkblade by Steve Feasey. Whispers of the Gods. When the gods fail, who will keep the darkness out? I don't know much about this, but it was gifted to me by Victoria, so thank you very much, Victoria. And I know she's eager to know what I think of it. I'm eager to know what I think of it. I actually saw the sequel to this in Waterstones and was very tempted to pick it up, but I thought, no, I will read the first one first. So I'm just eager to get to this. I don't know what it's about, and I don't think I really want to. I might go into this with very little, like, pre-knowledge, just to really embrace this mood reading, and something about this is calling to me, so we're gonna leave it at that. But that cover is really cool looking. I'm excited about it. That's kind of where I'm at. There are some other, like, project-y reads that I would like to get on with as well, but I don't know if March will be the time for that, because I am otherwise, if I finish all of these, I'm gonna lean into mood reading a little bit more. However, as we're not playing TBR Pursuit, I haven't had an opportunity to bring out the Acid Flounder, and I still want to do this, because it's fun, and I want to. So we're gonna do this too. But I almost forgot. We have this mug. We also have this mug. This mug is my final book support group mug, because I said we were going to touch upon final books, and here it is. Right, I have put in here a bunch of final books that I need to get to, or sequels that I really need to get to, for the final book support group, which is a book club slash readathon slash read along smushed together into a support group style project hosted by Steph from Steph Loves. I designed the logo and made this thing. But I will link the announcement to that down below, but her first session, her week-long session, is actually running alongside the same time as the Magical Readathon, so I'm gonna hope that one of these is set in a magical world. Of course none of them will be standalones, that's not the point. But I will be picking from this during that readathon. Not quite mood reading, I might not pick from it, but I might. I'm not going to pick from it now, it will definitely be in the vlog, but keep your eyes peeled for that. That's what's gonna happen. I've got books like Thunder of Monsters in here, I've got books like Jade War in here, Memory of Souls in here, Shadows of Self in here, what else have I got? I've got Storm of Echoes in here, I've got Battle for Raw in here, all sorts of final books or sequels from my shelves thrown in here, so we'll see what I end up picking up. And now back to the Acid Flounder. I am going to pick one from here just because I feel like I should, you know, as my patrons have all thrown random prompts in here for me and I want one. So, blub blub blub, Acid Flounder is having a prompt chosen. And we're going to go for this one. This one. Let's see what it is. Treat yourself. Well, that worked really nicely. Erin, thank you for a really nice one. I'm glad that I decided to pick from the fish, but we have treat. That's not going to focus on that, but trust me, from Erin, treat yourself, buy a new book. I'll do that at some point as well. I don't know what. Ooh, Gallant. Gallant. I'm pretty sure I've got it on pre-order anyway, does that count? But Gallant. And there we have it. That is my Mood Read March TBR. Not much of a TBR, very flexible other than those mandatory reads. And otherwise, we're just going to see how the month treats me, because February was, I don't want to use the word failure, but February didn't work out. I read a lot. Don't get me wrong, I still read a lot, I just didn't read off TBR Pursuit. So we're embracing mood reading for a little while, and I hope you're not too mad about it. I will try my very best to bring TBR Pursuit back for April, but in the spirit of being kind to myself and not punishing my reading, we'll see what happens. But otherwise, that is everything. Thank you ever so much for watching this slightly different TBR video. Very different TBR video. But I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, give us a thumbs up. Chat to me down below, all that jazz. Emoji of the video, a black heart, just because I'm wearing black, that makes sense. But yeah, I will see you in whatever comes next.